All right, this is part two. See what I'm saying? That's why I'm gonna. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Ivan, you're gonna have to go to the bank and create a business account. And I go to the bank, and me and VJ create another business account. Okay, we want to create a business account. We want to register for a business account. Okay, and they create a business account for me, VJ. Okay, what company are you starting, Ivan? Well, I'm starting my own. Maybe like we're starting our own theater chain. It's like theater chain now. It's just, the teller might give me VJ the bank. The people at the bank might give me VJ dirty looks. Holy shit, Ivan, VJ are loaded. You know what I'm saying they see the $30 billion in my bank. Holy shit, Ivan, VJ are loaded. We all work our ass off for 50, 60K a year, and Ivan fucking made his easy $30 billion. That's why everyone treats him like shit in my life, obviously. Okay, how much money do you want to put towards your theater project? I have $11 billion. And I put $11 billion towards my project. So $10 billion for building all the buildings, putting the IMAX technology into all 2,000 theaters, and $1 billion in additional money for the additional costs. Paying all the construction crewmen, buying the land, obviously that costs us money, obviously. Paying all my 150 assistants their $200,000 yearly salary for I don't know 2 years of work of planning. That's all through the budget. Paying my main developers a good like 300 grand each. You see what I'm saying? That's all part of the budget. Obviously, you're gonna have to hire a good like 150 team of people, man. Something crazy. If you want to like travel worldwide, you need to hire a lot of people. Like 150 people is enough. You don't have to hire like 500 people. No, you're wasting money. Hire a good 150 people. It's enough. You have everyone oversee each district. So 20 people overseeing Canada is enough. You just have them travel to all the major cities in Canada. There's only a good like 20, 30 major cities in Canada. 25 major cities in Canada, and the other ones are smaller cities. In a good like what? In a good 6, 7, 8 months, they would have traveled to all this. A couple months, they would have traveled to all the cities. It's not that hard, you know what I'm saying? And I'll give them a gift card for their food. I'll give each of the 150 members, assistants, a $30,000 gift card for their food, for their feeding, and I'll give like 22 of the guys like a $60,000 gift card for the hotel stays for everyone. See what I'm saying? And that's all paid to the $1 billion budget. Obviously, once every if I have like 500 million left over, I'm gonna use all that money towards what? Yeah. You also have the food, but the food's paid through the sales of the movie, obviously, right? But you also have the food. I'm gonna have to order like millions of pounds of food, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, Ivan, you're gonna need some extra money. You're gonna have to order millions of pounds of food for the launch of the movie of the date, obviously. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, you're gonna need to order millions of pounds of food for the first like for at least the first week for the whole for each movie theater. Okay, order a good amount of food. Order a good amount of food for a good week of the theater. Order a good chunk of food for the first week of all for all the theaters, and then the money that's made the money that's made from the from through the sales obviously for every theater, they'll be able to fund the rest of the food for the for the what. Yeah, they'll be able to fund the rest of the food, or I can just order millions of pounds of food for the 6 months. I make more profit for myself. I cut down some costs obviously. Yo, Ivan, the food's gonna cost you millions, Ivan. How much, Ivan? I don't know, like $100 million, $80 million in food costs, something crazy. Easy affordable. And that's why you have a big budget. That way, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm a billionaire, I have the keys. I don't because I put $1 billion budget in additional expenses. Obviously, it's more than enough money to what to pay. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, to pay the bills. Obviously, because my movies are automatically going to be profitable. I only need to pay for the food for a good like I'll have the CEOs make the call for the food for a good maybe week worth of sales, and the rest they can just fund it through the I'll just have the CEOs make the call for 6 months. Okay, make the call for 6 months worth of food with for the launch of the movie obviously. For the launch of the movie obviously you can do that. Which is more I'll have more than enough money to fund it obviously. saying? Yeah, you're gonna have to meet up with developers. All me and VJ have to do is just meet up with the developers. We tell them what kind of theory we want to build, how many theories you want to build. What, okay, Ivan, what districts are you thinking of? Okay, I want to build theaters in Canada, America, Mexico, Europe, China, obviously Japan, South Korea, North Korea, and New Zealand and Australia. And I'm not touching Africa, South America, or the Middle East. Or Asia, right? I'm not gonna touch Asia. Asia's not I'm not gonna touch Asia. I'm not gonna touch Russia. I'm only gonna touch Europe, half the years in Europe, see what I'm saying? That's enough. See what I'm saying? Okay, Ivan, how many theaters? Okay, Ivan, and me and V's are gonna have to plan out what cities we want our theaters to be built in. We have to do that with the developers too. So me and V's are probably gonna do a couple, I don't know, a good 4 or 5 months of planning with the developers before they go out to around the world and meet with all the people, man. We need to plan for a good like 4 or 5 months with the developers and the 150 assistants, obviously. We plan with the three main developers and the architects and all them and the accountant. And after that, we hire our 150 team and then they go all over the world and then we make the plans. Okay, we want to build theaters here, and the government will gladly let me build my theater. Ivan, yeah, this is good for the economy. Yes, I'm creating jobs. I'm creating jobs, and what? I'm creating jobs for fucking thousands of people worldwide, man. Yeah, man. Some singer. Okay, let's start with my hometown, Canada. Okay, Ivan, how many theaters do you want to build in Vancouver? Let's build three. Vancouver only has 500,000 people. We only need to build 2 theaters in Vancouver. That's enough. If you have 30,000 people a day, in a good like 2 weeks, everyone in Vancouver would be able to see my movie. So build two for Canada. I only need to build like 2 theaters in the major cities. It's enough. Yeah, Ivan, how much theaters you want to build in Canada? I don't know. I want to build a good 100 theaters in Canada. Build 2 theaters in all the major cities. The only cities where I'll build three is like Toronto and like Montreal. Because Toronto and Montreal have millions of people living there. Whereas all the other major cities in Canada only have a couple 100,000 people living there. Only build like 1 or 2 theaters there. That's enough. Ottawa, you can build 2 theaters. That's enough. There's only a million people live in Ottawa. 2 theaters is enough. And you build one theater in some of the smaller ones. Yeah, I want to build 100 theaters in Canada. Oh, that's more than enough. Yeah, build 2 big theaters in Vancouver. Build 1 theater in Surrey. Build 1 theater in Victoria, BC. And you build one, maybe 2 more, and a couple other small ones, and that's it. Okay, I want to build 2 theaters in Montreal. I want to build 2 theaters in Ottawa. I want to build 3 theaters in Toronto. I want to build 2 theaters in Hamilton. I want to build what? I want to build 2 theaters in Regina, Saskatchewan. No, Regina, Saskatchewan only has 200,000 people living there, man. Yeah, Regina, Saskatchewan, we can build 1 theater there. I want to build 2 theaters in Calgary, 2 theaters in Edmonton. You know what I'm saying? 2 theaters in Winnipeg. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, 1 theater in Gatineau. 2 theaters in Quebec City. 2 theaters, 1 theater in Halifax. You know what I'm saying? 1 theater in St. John. You know what I'm saying? And you build like 1 theater, you build like 1 theater, and then we go over. Okay, Ivan, these are all the major cities, and okay, we plan it out carefully. Okay, I want to build 2. Me and VJ plan out with developers, that way they know, and then we move on to America. It's a lot of work. And then we move on to then we move on to America. Okay, Ivan, these are all the major cities in America. What markets are you thinking of? Okay, I want you to build 3 theaters in New York. You know what I'm saying? 1 theater in Buffalo, 1 theater in Albany. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? 3 theaters in Atlanta, Georgia. 3 theaters in Los Angeles. 1 theater in Orange County. 1 theater in Hawaii. You know what I'm saying? 2 theaters in Utah. You know what I'm saying? 3 theaters in Florida. You know what I'm saying? You build like, and we look at some of the smaller cities next to the bigger city, and you build a few theaters in some of those smaller cities. I'm not the smallest cities are the cities that I'm not going to be touching that much. I'm going to build all the theaters in all the major ones. Those are the important ones because that's where the majority of the population of the Americans live, obviously, and the Canadians and then people in Europe. But it doesn't hurt to build like a couple theaters in some of the smaller cities. That way, because I told you most chances are if there's a big city, all the smaller cities next to that big city are only like a couple hour, a 30-minute, 40, 1 hour, 2 hour drive from that city, 3 hour, at most 3, 4 hour drive from that city. You know what I'm saying? So my point is, because I'm building all the theaters in all the major cities, it will be pretty close to all the smaller cities, like in 1 hour, 1.5 hour, 2 hour, 30-minute drive. So if my theater isn't in your town or city, your small city, chances are what my theater is built in a big city next to your smaller city or your town, which is a good 30, 45, 1 hour, 1.5, 2 hour, 3 hour drive. See what I'm saying? And people will gladly drive 3 hours to see my movie. A 3 hour drive isn't that bad. See what I'm saying? That way you make it convenient for Americans. And for all you guys, if my theater isn't built in your hometown and you don't want to drive that distance, you can just wait until the 4K Blu-ray is released. You can buy it at home. But most people, everyone in America and Canada and Europe are going to want to watch a movie on theaters. Yeah. Okay, Ivan, how much theaters you want to build in Canada? Okay, build a good 100 theaters in Canada. 100 is a bit too much. Canada only has 40 million people. No, in Canada, I only need to build a good, like, maybe 80 theaters. That's enough. Yeah, Ivan, how much theaters you want to build in America? Build a good 400 theaters in America. That's enough. How much theaters you want to build in Europe? Build a good 600 theaters in Europe. That's more than enough. Before I said 1,000. 1,000 is too much. 600 theaters in Europe is more than enough for a billion people. That's more than enough. And build a good 400. China has 1 billion people. Build a good 300 to 400 million, 300 theaters in China. For the foreign world, I'm not going to build as much theaters because it's not as important, obviously. The really important markets are Europe and North America. Those are and New Zealand, Australia. Those are the important markets. Whereas China, no, they don't speak English. I'm going to release my movie in Chinese subtitles, obviously. Okay, build a good 300 theaters in China. And build a good 100 theaters in Japan. Japan has 100 million people living there. It has a bigger population than even Canada. So build a good 100 theaters in Japan. Because they have 130 million people living there. And then Korea has 50 million people. You can build a good 80 theaters there. And then North Korea has like 40 million people. You can build a good 80 theaters there. You know what I'm saying? That's enough. 80 theaters in Canada is more than enough. Canada only has like 40 million people living here. Canada has a small population. It's a big country. It's bigger than the States, obviously. But the States has more people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And New Zealand only has 3 million people. For New Zealand, I only need to build a good, 3 million people. You only need to build a good like 7, 8 theaters in New Zealand. That's enough. And you build another 8 in Australia. That's enough. That's about 2,000 theaters. And you build a good, Mexico has 100 million people living there. You can build another 80 theaters in Mexico. Some saying, 100 theaters in Mexico. That's about 2,000 theaters. If my math is right? Yeah, about 1,900, 2,000 theaters. It's about 2,000. Yeah. Ivan, what about the Middle East? No, guys, I'm not touching the Middle East. And I'm not touching... What about South America? No, I don't want to build theaters in South America or the Middle East or Africa. Those are not... Those areas I'm not going to touch. Or the Caribbean islands. I'm not going to touch those areas. That's what I'm saying, huh? Let's talk about the CEO. So I made an error, guys, in my video yesterday. So Cinemark is not a theater company. So the Mark Zarato guy is out of the picture. Sorry, Mark Zarato, you're out of the picture. My top cans are Adam Aron from AMC CEO. He's the AMC CEO. Ellis Jacob, he's the CEO of Cineplex. And then you have Mookie Grendinger, he's the CEO of Cineworld, which is Britain. So Cineworld is a big theater chain in England. But it's not a big theater chain in Europe. The biggest theater chain in Europe is Odeon Cinema. I did some research, and the CEO of Odeon Cinema is Mark Jonathan Way. So you can hire those. You can hire those what? You can hire those like those 4 guys to be your CEOs for the main area, obviously. right? So Alan Ellis Jacob, I'll have him, if I hire him, I'll have him run the Canadian division of Canada. And you pay him his nice $2 million salary for his contract. He's contracted obviously, and you give him a $300,000 bonus for all the contracts of each movie. That's a good deal for him. And then Adam Aaron, he will be the big boss. He'll be running the American division. And you pay him a nice $2 million salary for the contract, and you give him a $300,000 bonus. That's a good paycheck for him, right? And then Mark Jonathan Way, he's the CEO of Odeon Cinema. Odeon Cinema is the biggest theater chain in Europe. Have him run the European division, obviously. And then Mookie Grendinger, you can have him run. For Europe, I'll hire two CEOs to run that division because you're looking at a lot of countries. For Europe, you have to hire a good like two people to run that. Two people to run that division. Hire the Mookie Grendinger, the Cineworld CEO, and hire the Odeon Cinema CEO, Mark Jonathan Way. Hire those two guys to run the European division. So, okay, two of you guys are going to run the European division, obviously. And then Ellis Jacob, the CEO of Cineplex Canada, he will run the Canadian division. And Adam Aaron will run the American division, the AMC CEO. And guarantee those guys will apply if I build that theory chain, because they know if they work for me, they're safe. Yeah, because Ivan's king now, if he builds that theory chain, all our theory chains are a side tension. We're all going to have to charge more money for our fucking tickets, yes. Their theories are all the side tension, and their theories are not making the kind of money that my theory chain will make. As for my theory chain, you're looking at 1 billion people going to my theaters. It's booked like for months, for a couple months straight, man. Whereas those cinemas, you only have 50, 40, 100, 200 million people going to their cinemas. Whereas Ivan, it's 1 billion plus people going. Like 1 billion 3 people going. Something crazy, yeah, man. But the only con about my company is that the only con about my cinema is that I'm only gonna play my movies. I am only gonna play my movies at the theaters, Simsanger. I'm only gonna play my movies at the theaters. Obviously. So after my movie gets released on theaters, I'm gonna close down the theaters and everyone's out of a job, obviously. So all the employees who work for my company are only gonna work for my company for like 6 months. 6 months around there. And then after that, they're contractors. And after that, you guys are gonna have to find more work. And then once I start the Gracie movie, you can rehire some of the same guys. That's why you have to pay the manager a nice $8,000 salary. That way they can feed their families. You see what I'm saying, huh? You pay a manager $80,000, he'll have enough money to feed his family for a good year and a half worth of work, and you give him an $8,000 bonus, you can feed his family for a good year and a half. You see what I'm saying? Year and a half, and then once the Gracie movie starts, they're contractors. Because I'm not gonna have my movies released on theaters for 2 years straight. No, like you know what I'm saying? Like release it for a couple months and you release it direct to 4K Blu-ray on Amazon. Because 1 billion people are gonna be buying my movie, my theaters will generate more than enough money than what even these companies like AMC and all generate in a fucking lifetime. You see what I'm saying? Pay all those CEOs a nice $2 million $2 million deal. Obviously. So for Zanus, what I'll do is, once the theaters are all built and I hired my CEO, the CEOs are going to have to the CEOs are going to have to hire all the managers. Hire contractors to put out ads to hire all the managers to run each theater. So the managers will be under the CEOs. So you hire the CEOs to run the division, and you hire individual managers to run each theater chain. And you pay all the managers a nice $80,000 salary, which is good. And you pay the employees their $15 an hour salary. That's good. That's a good paycheck. If you work full time, you'll make a nice $1,200 for yourself. So if you work full time for my theater, you're gonna make like $30,000 a year for yourself, man. $30,000 a year. It's a good paycheck for what? It's a nice paycheck for you're getting. My point is, you're gonna get your nice like $1,200 every 2 weeks if you work full time for my company. That's a nice paycheck for a fucking theater worker, man. After taxes, you make your $900 after taxes. Your $870 after taxes. Nice paycheck. You can pay your rent with that kind of money. You see what I'm saying? If you think for 1 second I'm gonna pay these guys, if I pay them $20 an hour, they're not ripping me off. They're not worth that. They're going to be affecting my life. I can easily afford to pay them $20 an hour, but I'm not going to. The moment you pay them $20 an hour, you're being too generous and ripping you off. $15 an hour is a good salary, is a good hourly rate, As most people at theaters make like 10 an hour, 11 an hour. I'm paying you 15 an hour. That's good enough. If you work full time, if you work 7 days a week, you're gonna make like $1,400, $1,500 every 2 weeks. If you work 7 days a week at my cinema, you're gonna make your $40,000 a year around there, 38,000. Or if you work 5 days a week full time, you'll make your nice $1,200 every 2 weeks. If you work on average an 8-hour shift, you're gonna make your nice $1,200, man, $1,000, $900. If you work part time, you're gonna make your nice $500, $550. Nice paycheck. As I guarantee you, a lot of people who even have like good paying steady jobs, a lot of them are gonna what? A lot of them are gonna be signing up to my cinema. Yeah, I want to work for Ivan's fucking company and get all these perks. Yeah, 50% discount for the tickets, the free refills, 50% off for the food. Yeah, obviously. And if you work part time, I don't know, if you make $50K a year, you can work on my theaters in the evening. I know you do your nice government job from 9 to 5, and then at 6 o'clock you work at the cinema from 6 to 12. 6 to 11, you make a nice 450, 500 extra bucks for yourself. You make a nice not $800 for yourself, you know what I'm saying? $700, that's a nice paycheck. Or you can work part-time and make a nice like $400 for yourself. Yeah. 15 hours is a nice paycheck for a theater job. As no theater company pays the theater employees that kind of money. The only ones who make that 15 an hour are maybe the supervisors. And managers at theaters make like 40, 30, 50K a year at the big cinemas around the world. And I'm paying them $80,000. They're going to work hard for me, obviously. You need to pay them a nice salary, that way they can feed their families for at least a good year and a half. And you give them a nice like $8,000 bonus to managers. That way they have some money for themselves to feed their family for a couple months. Okay, you guys fine, all right, I'm fine. I can feed my family for a good year and a half. You pay me 80K after taxes is what? It's about 50 grand in your bank. You know what I'm saying? It's enough to feed your family. 50 grand is enough to feed your family for a year and a half, man. A year, a good year, and you get your $8,000 bonus. It's nice. Nice paycheck, obviously. But they're all contractors. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Obviously. Hence why, if I build that theater chain, I'm going to pitch it to Jon Favreau. He's going to be sold. Holy shit, Ivan, you're building your own theater chain? How are you going to do that, Ivan? You didn't sell to your family. I'm like, no, John, I'm going to fund it myself. Holy shit, Ivan, you're funding yourself, Ivan? You're funding it yourself? Yeah, I'm going to build my own theater chain. Ivan, how much theaters? I don't know, John. How does 2,000 theaters sound? Ivan, 2,000 theaters. Holy shit. You're looking at something. Is this worldwide, Ivan, or you're just building it regional, Ivan? No, I'm building it worldwide. All over America, Canada, Europe, Mexico, China, Japan, Korea, and like New Zealand, Australia. He's like, holy shit, Ivan. You know what I'm saying? He's like, Ivan, what about Africa and Middle East? No, I'm not building it there, John. I'm only going to build in the main areas. He's like, holy shit, Ivan. He's like, the whole world will be able to see your movies on theaters. I'm like, yeah. Like, Ivan, you're building 2,000 theaters worldwide. Yeah, John, 2,000 theaters worldwide. He's like, holy shit. Yeah, IMAX, John, IMAX screening technology. He's like, IMAX? Ivan, that's fucking expensive. This is going to cost you billions, Ivan. Yeah, John, don't worry about it. I can afford it. Don't worry, Ivan. Don't worry, John. It's not a problem. I can afford it. I'm saying. He's like, holy shit. Yeah, John, you're going to be the CEO. You're going to be the boss over all these guys. He's like, holy shit. Yeah, fuck Hollywood. I'm working for Ivan. Yeah. When I pitch Peter Jackson in the theater chain, he's going to be shocked too. Holy shit, Ivan. Ivan, how are you going to distribute your movie, by the way? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Peter, I'm gonna release it on 4K Blu on Amazon. Oh, 4K Blu, Ivan, huh? But yeah, Peter, 4K Blu. You know what I'm saying? He's like, but first I'm gonna release it to the theaters. Ivan, the theaters? How are you gonna do that? You didn't sell to your family, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, no, Peter, I'm gonna build my own chain, my own money. Your own chain, Ivan. Holy shit, Ivan. How much theaters are you building, Ivan? I'm like, 2,000 theaters. Like, 2,000? Ivan, this is bigger than AMC. AMC is a big dog in the theater chain business, Ivan. Your company's better than you in AMC. Yeah, Peter. IMAX screening. I'm gonna have IMAX screening for all my theaters. IMAX for all your rooms. I'm like, yeah, Peter. IMAX technology. Like, holy shit. You're looking at an unheard of technology for your movie, Ivan. Like the unheard of technology for your $985 million budget movie, and you have the IMAX technology on top of that. You're looking at something unheard of, Ivan. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. By the way, Ivan, am I going to get a piece of that? I'm like, fine, Peter, I'll give you 0.02. You happy? That's a nice, like, $20 million in rolling. Ivan, that's a good deal. Yeah. And I'll give John 0.01. He'll make a nice $9-10 million for the ticket sales. It's a good deal for Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. And that's why I'll be able to grab John and Dave from Hollywood easily. If I build that, especially if I build that theory chain, I'm gonna be able to grab him from Hollywood easily. You have the nice IMAX, and guys, I'm gonna be pimping out my theater completely, guys, because I'm putting $1 billion towards my additional costs. Okay, guys, I want to put $100,000 towards the what? The payment system technology. The payment system technology for the debit machines. The screens when you select your time slot, and the debit machines when the fans can pay obviously for the tickets. I want to put money into the best IMAX technology, obviously. Okay, Ivan, it's going to cost you $2 million just to put IMAX into your theaters. Don't worry about it. I can easily afford it. And I pimp up my theaters. The $1 billion will be used for the additional costs: paying the construction crewmen, buying the land, building the parking lot, and pimping out my theaters. I'm going to have a nice ceiling. When you walk in the theater, you have this nice ceiling. You have this planetary thing. You have these nice stars. You can do something like that to make it a good ceiling. You have your nice comfortable chairs, your nice cup holder, and you have your nice big screen. Big, nice screen. Huge screen. You know what I'm saying? You give the viewers a good experience at your theaters, obviously. See what I'm saying? You give the viewers experience at your theaters, obviously. Yeah. Obviously. Now I'm going to make sure all my employees get paid direct deposit. Don't pay them check. No, pay them direct deposit. Put money into an advanced payment system to pay all the employees their nice paycheck, obviously. They're nice, like, I don't know, $1,000 paycheck. They're nice. The supervisors, you pay them $16 to $18 an hour. And the managers, you pay them. The supervisors will be the ones helping out the managers. Helping out the managers with the payroll. Helping out the managers with the business stuff. And helping them out. Helping them run things in the theaters. You're going to need at least a good, like, 5 supervisors for each theater around there. 5, 6 supervisors to help out your manager. For supervisors, you have to have experience. Having supervising experience at a theater, obviously. Don't just hire some random guy. No. The employees, no experience. But the supervisors, you need experience, obviously, managing a theater, and the managers have to have experience running theaters. And chances are, all the people who work at Cineplex, all the managers who work at Cineplex are gonna apply, obviously, for my company. All the managers who work at AMC are gonna apply for my company. I'm gonna grab them all. You know what I'm saying? All the managers who work at Cineworld and Odeon Cinema, I'm gonna be able to grab all those guys from fucking what? From AMC, because I'm paying them I'm paying them more. I'm paying them $80,000. Whereas they probably make 40, 38, 50K a year at those theaters. And I'm paying them $80,000. I'm paying them more money. I'm giving them $8,000 bonuses. They're all going to choose my company over what? They're all going to choose my company over AMC, over the fucking current theater chain they're working in, obviously. Is there? Yeah. Obviously. Oh, hey, Ivan, Ivan, how much do you want to charge? How much do you want to charge your customers, your viewers, Ivan? Okay, what's this? Okay, what's the profitable price range for IMAX, Ivan? If you want to make profit, you gotta charge at least like 16, 15 an hour, 15 plus, Ivan, $15 plus. Okay, I'll charge everyone $17.50 for a standard ticket. $17.50 for the tickets. $17.50 for the teens and adults, and for the kids who are 12 and under, you charge them $14. That way, you give the families good deals. Obviously, so if a family wants to see a movie with, if a family wants to see my Zane's movie and they have one 12-year-old, one 10-year-old kid, they could for the 2 kids it's $14. It's $14. $14. But I'm gonna say make sure the kids bring ID. That way what? That way they don't dupe you, obviously. You know what I'm saying? Okay, make sure all the kids have a piece of ID with them. That way they have proof that they're 12 years old. You know what I'm saying? I don't want these people dupe me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And to see my Zanus movie, because my Zanus movie will be 18 plus, if you're 18 or under, if you're 17 years old or under, obviously, you have to come with an adult. Otherwise, you will not be. The people will not let you see my movie at the theaters. You see what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you guys, look, man. If the kid is 18, there's a good chance a lot of high schoolers who are like 15, 16, they're gonna want to see my movie. Obviously, look, man. If you want to see my movie, you make sure you go with an adult. Go with an adult who's 18 or older. If you have an older brother, an older sister, go with your older sister. If you want to go with your friends, that's fine, but make sure you go with your parents or go with your go with a parent or go with an adult. That way they let you in the theaters, obviously. As long as you have an adult with you, you're allowed to see the movie, the Saints movie, because you're looking at the devil himself for Arete. Look at something scary. Some saying? Yeah, but chances are, if the guy's 18, if you look, man, if you're 18, if you look around the age of 16, 17, 18, bring your wallet with you, bring your ID, make sure you have an ID with you, because chances are the people are going to ID you. Because there's some people who are 18 years old who look like 15-year-old kids. You know what I'm saying? Hence why make sure you bring an ID with you. That way, what? If you don't bring an ID, they might not let you in the theaters. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so we're going to see ID. You're looking at the devil himself for Aratat. Bring ID. I'm gonna put out an ad. If you're 18 years old or under, bring an ID with you. If you're around 18, make sure you bring your IDs, because some people might ID you. So I'm saying, because you're looking at a large crowd, chances are a lot of people will not ID them because they don't have time for that. Obviously, oh fuck it, he looks 18. Just let him through. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. Yeah. Obviously, yeah. So me and Reed are gonna have to plan our theater chain with the developers, obviously. We're going to have to plan our theater chain with the developers. It's a lot of work. We're going to have to plan our theater chain with the developers, me and VJ. We're going to have to plan our theater chain with the developers. See what I'm saying? It's a lot of work. But I told you, it's not guaranteed I'm going to build a theater chain. If I make like 20 billion, 19 billion, I'm not going to invest money in the theater chain. I'm just going to release my movie on 4K on Amazon. And Amazon will handle all that dirty work for me and VJ. Shipping it all over Europe, Canada, America, Mexico, South America, China, Japan, Korea, New Zealand, Australia. Amazon will handle all that shipping work for me and VJ. And I believe Amazon is in a couple countries in Africa, only a few countries, but they're not in the Middle East, and they're in South America. Amazon, they're in a couple countries in South America, but they're in the main areas like Canada, Japan, Mexico, America, and Europe, and all them. So it's in China and Japan. Yeah. Some saying. Make sure you do that. Obviously, it's a lot of work. It will take me and VJ probably a good 2-3 months to plan everything. Okay, discussing all the city. Okay. I want all my movie theaters in all the major cities in Canada. Obviously, and then we have a list of all the major cities in Canada, and we mark all the cities. Okay, I want at least a good 2 theaters in every major city in Canada, and the big ones you put 3 theaters in there. See what I'm saying? 2 theaters is enough for most of the cities in Canada. Because Canada only has 40 million people living here, whereas America you got to put like at least 3 to 4 theaters. Show my here.